been many times in the life of my business, which is 10 years, where if this situation had happened in those times, I would have been gone within a week. You know, as you know, we opened the business in August 2009, and January 2010, our first child was born, and I still have my bank balance from that week.
Right.
And it was £1,500 in the bank.
Yeah.
And I very much know that there were times, even in 2015, after opening the second store, we had nothing.
Yeah.
We were very, very lucky. In terms
I think you're absolutely right. I think there's actually sometimes it's a little bit easier. There's a little bit of judgment of businesses who have already collapsed, and I sort of understand it because there's this line that they didn't have a solid business. But also, if somebody just happens to be, have spent a whole load of money on something in the business, you can cash flow just is not this perfect line, and you cannot grow any business like this without having a few moments where you go home and you are sucking your teeth thinking, do you know what? I need this to work. And I think a really solid business will always have those moments. So I think, as you say, it's important to have empathy with those people who are in those positions and actually had a solid business. I mean, I have a client who actually had opened a brand new location, and it wasn't even open yet. It's ready to be open in the next 2 or 3 days.
Oh wow!
So there's all that money spent. I think they'll be okay, but that sort of expenditure sometimes that you put out there. The timing of this, can be pretty brutal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always right from the start. My 4 priorities of payments are staff first, suppliers, then invest in the business, and then pay yourself. As an owner, you're allowed to take dividends and stuff. And then, if you want to save money up to open another business, you want to save that up and have a bank balance, of course. And I remember once, I think the bank manager said to me, "Why have you got this money in the bank? Why don't you do something with it?" And so there's times where you have to decide what to do with the business bank account. And if you have a good balance, you do. If you don't, and it's timing, it's harsh. It's hard work.
It's interesting on that point because actually, bizarrely, I did my dissertation at university on boom and bust through the previous 80 years. So it's always been there in my mind in terms of, just how even bank managers coming, getting all gung-ho, just because they just think, well, this is never going to stop. And then it stops. It always stops. Now, none of us saw this, but I think that, you've obviously lived through just about the same amount of recessions as I have done, probably in a slightly different environment.
It's hard. And maybe when, I'm 50 and you're been around a bit, John, too.
I'm older.
It's good to look back on these experiences and sort of reflect on those, and we should be able to get through and make it through. But it's an